T-Man 978 Chill Review.
Hello everyone, T-Man 978. Right now we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Series Haslab Dragonfly. I've already looked at the action figures previously, links in the description. Thank you G. Tony for your generosity. I greatly appreciate it, and I will never ever be able to repay you. But here we go. This is the front of the box. If you never got a Haslab, this box right here is big and heavy. It's gotta be at least freaking 17 pounds or so. But then you get two boxes on top of this. Like, you get a brown box covering this with 8 of these edge coaster things to protect the corners on the outside of the brown box. And then they stuff that inside of another shipper box. So, yeah. On the front, we see that it needs 3 AAA batteries for one of the functionalities that I have not tested. Here's the top of the box where it just has the Dragonfly symbol right there. And other stuff. If you're watching this on your phone, you can pinch and zoom in on that. This should be in 4K, so it should be a good quality image once you zoom in. If you're actually watching with your settings in 4K. Depending on how you look at it, this is the image from the left side of the box. Here is the rear of the box with all the warnings and whatnot. They actually have enough room to put some of that in there. And here's the image from the right side of the box. If you open both flaps, it becomes a really big picture. And here's the bottom of the packaging where, let's just let you see a wide shot first. But all of this stuff is in English. Now, back in the day, this would be the standard for anything sold in the United States. But now we can only get this for specialized products like this, where this is definitely a United States only product. But since fans demand it, they do make it available overseas. But they definitely don't pretend that this isn't a United States product right there. And I guess if you pause at any point, you can read some of this stuff. I want to give this special attention because these are the teams. Alright, I never get to use this, the wide lens. I might use this with a full review, to be honest. But inside, we get this box that has the 4 action figures. You can go to my Wild Bill video to see how they were packaged. In this box, we have most of the accessories. And yeah, I'm just streamlining this. In this one, we have the actual Dragonfly and some of the remaining accessories. There's 2 trays in there, I believe. Last, we get not last, but we get the instructions. It lets you know how to put the batteries in, and it gives you a general idea on how to make the lights work and how you can interact with the figures. And I believe it showed somewhere where to put some of the stickers. Well, at least this sticker for the stand. And we get this set of stickers. We get these right here. We get these right here, the optional zombie-like. I forget what the artist's name is, but you know what it is. And then we get this right here with these type of things. So yeah, on the back is just silver, but that's nice. I'm probably never going to use any of this besides maybe that, and I probably won't even use that. But thank you, Hasbro, for the effort. We paid for it. I didn't pay for this, but thank you, G. Tony, again. I hope this is coming out good. I've never thought I'd ever use this ultra wide lens for anything, but it is absolutely necessary. I don't even think I can like switch in the middle of this to show you the difference. This is how far away I normally am from action figures and whatnot, but you can actually see everything, so that's cool. But anywho, I will let you see it with the wide angle lens. And it is this thing is like 37 inches long, I believe. It's like as long as Haslab Unicron is tall, and look at all that. Normally I have this like folded so I can stay steady, but I propped it. I should have taken that out, but I'm not. But I was going to show it all fully geared up with all the weapons on already, but I decided against that, just to show you some extra stuff. And this thing right here, it was attached down there, I guess, to stop it from breaking in transit. Even though there was probably no way that would happen, but that was just an extra step. To let you know, in the box, these wings aren't attached. These right here aren't attached. And when you do attach them, they move together. I guess they meet in the middle. This rotor wasn't attached, and these propeller blades I had to stick in individually. I believe everything, oh wait, the whole tail wasn't attached, so I had to put that in right there. And of course it didn't have the batteries in. The batteries go in under here. 3 AA batteries. We got that symbol right here on the turret in the front. This piece right here is rotatable for whatever reason. It was up like this. I figured it should probably be down. These wings can actually go up like that, but I'll keep them off to the side. Here's where I'll get like super duper close up. So we do have these exhaust ports. They, I can't tell. Kind of, now that I'm up close, it kind of, or have the light, it kind of looks like that's painted detail. But there are various markings and writing all over it. We have guns right here. This rotates and goes up and down. This right here, which is hard to open. That opens and you have the ammo right here for the gun. It's like pretty much the exact same thing on the other side. This right here opens to show you some of the engine components right there. That's nicely painted. These lights that you see on there, that's just paint, and like right here is paint. On the reverse side, actually I believe they're just green plastic pieces. It's not painted. Well, let's open this just in case. Pretty much the same detail on that side. And like I was mentioning down here, let's just look at it just in case to give you the full experience. Pretty, like I said, same detail. Outside of that opening, we do get the cockpit that opens right here. Now it gives a little bit of resistance right there, so I'm not a big fan of that. And on the reverse side, in the front, it opens. This one definitely gives a little bit of resistance. Just bend at the actual hinge, so you can get out quickly, or they can open up and they can get other soldiers to hand them things and whatnot, so they don't have to get all the way out. But I would imagine when they really want to get out, you can open it up from the front, and the whole thing opens up. So there we are right there. While we're right here, I put the batteries in. There is a button right here, this raised thing. Press that once and the control panels light up. Gonna let you see these. It's pretty much, I think it's the same detail, maybe no, slightly different. I'm not a military helicopter pilot, so I don't understand these controls for the most part. I don't know what's the difference. I'm sure some pilot out there knows the difference. Good for you. Good for you. We appreciate your service. In here we see the seats. There is let me lighten up things. A control stick right here. And unlike the Hiss, the figures will have to bend their knees to get in there. There is some room forward, so they don't have to have their feet flat, but yeah. And here we have this right here, the seat belt, which I haven't opened this. All right, here we are. It actually pegs like that. So you put the guy in there, put his legs in there, you put this over his head, and then you snap this back together. Same deal up here. You can see some more controls on the side. A lot of that looks identical. Well, maybe there are some differences in the back there. But here's the texture on the seats. And outside of that lighting up, press the lights again, press the button again, and that lights up. In the front, on both sides, and then down here, you press it again. There's another light under here that lights up. Press it again. The lights on the side go out, but the one down here is still on. And all that's on. Press it again. All the lights go off. And if the lights are off and you hold the button, all the lights come on at once. Press it again and they all go off. I'm gonna get back here. Here's one thing I like. When you spin that, you can actually feel the air underneath of there. It actually creates wind. I wish, honestly, with how much this thing costs, I wish it actually had a motor up in there. I'm sure that would break over time, but having that extra functionality would have been nice. But what we get and all the accessories and the fact that the Hiss didn't have an actual motor to make that thing move. I wasn't super duper expecting it, but it would have been nice. I mean, I'm pretty sure there may be enough room in there where you can open this up and figure out how to create an engine yourself. All right, this video has been over the course of a few days, and I have 13 minutes of footage edited right now, so I might streamline a lot of this. But here is a bunch of ammo right here that goes into the side of the Dragonfly. You should put that in first before we get to the turret that it connects to. Why? Because it needs to like kind of wrap around this while being pegged into here. So I'm gonna start it up there and then like groove it into this right there. So now it just looks like the ammo is being fed into this cannon, which can go up and down. On the side of the wings, you may have noticed these gaping holes. That is for this with the missile right here. Now, as far as this whole unit, the things that feel like the cheapest as far as a premium experience, as much as this thing costs, this right here. These landing skids, or whatever you call this, is a completely different color. It's slightly lighter than the rest of the green plastic, and it is 100% a different consistency. I can see why they did that. It has what you may have noticed, like waffling at the bottom. It's more hollow, but this is the part that's going to be hitting the ground more. So I guess they wanted it to be more pliable, but yeah, I did want to mention that it does not feel as expensive as the rest of the plastic. And this part right here, while it feels like the rest of the vehicle, I don't like the way it looks with the waffling on both sides. I don't like that. And now I'm trying to realize which side is which, but I'm thinking both of these are freaking exactly the same, to be honest. Yeah, they are exactly the same. See how that says the 2 right there? It's going in the same position. So one side is gonna have the number at the top, which I want it to be on the bottom, but I can't get everything that I want. But do that on both sides. This winch I had applied, of course you can like stretch that and then wrap it up or roll it this way to get it to go back up. And it has that little hook on there that can clamp onto some of their gear. Now I feel like I'm missing something because this thing came with a rack of accessories, but most of the accessories I actually had to apply to the actual Dragonfly, so that definitely cut down on the parts when most of it is actually part of the actual aircraft. But we do get these missiles, which I believe these are the exact same missiles as the Hiss. I'm gonna have to go look before I make lies up. They are the exact same with one difference. This has a molded piece of plastic in the center right there. So that makes this missile not compatible with this missile rack because there's a piece of thin plastic going in between there. So you can't press this on there. But this should be able to fit onto the Hiss tank. Yep. But anywho, using this, there is a port on the Veer, and we can port that there. We actually get 2 sets of those, and we get 2 of these right here. So you have the option. You have 2 of these equipped to the Dragonfly or 2 of the actual missile racks. But I'm going to be asymmetrical because that's more fun to be able to have every single type of weapon attached at once. So that's cool. Other than that, and let me just let you see, here's the other set. All of the missiles come off, so those are individual things. Nothing shoots out of this, but I'm gonna put it on the stand. Other than that, we get the blast effects, which I'm gonna bring in later. All right, here is the stand, which I already applied this part to this part. Put the sticker on there anytime. For whatever reason, I watched the unboxing for this, and for whatever reason, I thought this was completely symmetrical, but it's not. But with it being sloped, you can have the helicopter going down or going up. All right, before we put it on the stand though, I wanted to show them actually beside this, so you can see everything pretty much that comes with this, besides the blast effects and the stand right now. But here we are. You get a lot. The figures themselves, that's an amazing set. Like, that's $100 value right there. And I feel like all of them were great. Or are great, not were. I guess the rest of the 175 is the actual Dragonfly itself. Now I'm talking about prices, which is irrelevant at this point, because if you didn't buy it when it came out, there's no way you're gonna get it for $275 unless you bump into some super generous person and get lucky. Now, of course, with all the play value and all that junk, you can have these things doing so much next to this. Like, you can pretend somebody's fixing this engine, pretend somebody's fixing this engine, pretend they're loading up the missiles and all that stuff. But as you can see, I didn't even pick her up. I don't feel like doing all that currently. What I'm about to do now is get them all riding this thing. All right, while I'm struggling to get these figures in here, getting Glenda in, and she's skinny, it's tough. But I forgot to talk about the gear shifter thing over here. It's one in the front and the back. So we have that, and we'll let you see some of the controls on that side. Now, this comes off the little handle, which might be a good thing because I can get it into her hand and then plug it back in. It's just getting her in here with the legs bent the correct way is a struggle. So I can't wait to try Wild Bill. It looks like I have more room to work with, but we'll see. And I also didn't show you that here's what this looks like without the lights on. So it still looks good even without the lights. The G.I. Joe team is really good with that. To be specific, the struggle I'm having is the knees 100% need to be bent. Oh, you know what? I'm dumb. There is room up there. There is room up there. So abort complaints on that part. Now there is a little bit, let me see. There might be room underneath of there. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Don't bend the knees. Try to get them in there straight. For the his tank, there was no question about that because there was definitely no leg room. But for him, Glinda, I didn't even try. I'm going to attempt to get his hands on that little handle over here and this at the same time. And like I was mentioning, I think the easier way is to pop this out. It comes off easy enough. Wrap the hands around this, and I did get the hands holding it. I don't have the thumb wrapped around it, but I'm not going to drive myself crazy. Get that in the hand and then shove it down into the port, which would be easier if I could actually see. Yeah. Now, before I did that, I probably should have plugged this end, which, that was simple enough. I don't remember it being that easy on the hiss. Now I gotta get his old glasses on and all that. I don't know if it helps really, but I switched his hair out for the one that has the hat attached already. But both of them are in there. Both of them are holding their controls and whatnot. Let's turn the light on. Let's turn these lights off. See let me turn that off. See the glow on them a bit. So that's cool. Here they are with no outside. Here they are with barely any outside light. I should say less. It's mostly glowing on Glinda. Alright, here it is on the stand on my not wide enough backdrop. But I have crazy legs on the side. And you know what's crazy? They gave them these foot stands, but not anything really to hold on to. And here is ripcord on there, and you see them in their piloting. So there's all four of them actually on this thing, like actually attached. Like a handle somewhere would have been nice as far as getting them to hold things. I did originally have him facing this, like he was gonna jump back, but this cannon right here, you might not want to attach that if you want to have somebody over here. But right now he is using the cannon as leverage to stay up before I guess he jumps and attacks. So imagine this thing is off the ground. Let me go down and look up. So now it's like really far off the ground. Now Glinda has the whole harness situation where it would actually attach in the middle right here. Alpine has that as well because he's a mountain climber, but here's something you can also do with the gear that pretty much all of them have on. So you don't need the special gear. And I don't feel like putting that back on there. I'm not even gonna lie. This is what you're getting. I'm pretty sure there's a million pictures online. If not, let me know. Instagram. And yes, you can still operate this in both directions. And when it gets all the way down to the bottom, if you keep turning the knob, I believe, oh, wait a minute. that's longer than it looked like it was. But yeah, if you let it go down long enough and keep spinning the same direction, it will eventually just start turning the opposite direction. Blast effects, you get 2 of these, the exact same thing. The smoke trail looks like it's going up, so when you put it on the other side, it's going down. So you do have to deal with that. But anywho, here's what we can do, because it has those ports right there. We can take the missile off of here. I'm gonna just do this instead of fighting, trying to get just the missile off. Attach that to here, put this back into there, and then attach the missile going like that. So awesome effect right there. Next we have these 4 guys, 2 with these little tinier pegs right there, and 2 with the thicker ones. What you're supposed to do with that is like put them back here, and now it can look like these are blasting off. So however you want to spin that, the tails go in different directions. It is pliable, you can heat it up to do whatever, but now we got that going on, which is cool. Up front here we got these side guns, so you can do that. I did not know these extended until just now. I swear I've been messing with this thing. I had no clue that was a thing right there. That's cool and bad at the same time, but and of course it can fit onto this side. So now it has both going on at once. On the reverse, we have this right here going on, so we can do that. And the big launch trail right there can fit into the smaller missiles. So what that means is the missile rack over here is backward compatible, and you can use the effects on this since these didn't come with any effects. You can also use this effect on these cannons and the cannons down here. So, yay, spread it around. Now the minigun on the front and the miniguns on the hiss, you'll have to have blast effects from your other figure sets. While we are here is the size comparison. Of course, the Dragonfly is definitely longer. It can get higher off the ground, but when we put it down, the hiss is slightly taller because of the turret. But yeah, of course, this is like a big beefy thing, while this is a more slim thing right here. You get to see some of my messy review room. It's not too crazy, but whatever. Here are these 2 things in the same place. Here's this guy. Here's a Haslab Sentinel. Here's the side window open. Here are both side windows open. Here it is with both of these cannons on versus the 2 missile racks. So I showed everything that I'm gonna show. I like the thing, it's impressive. It has a lot of variety. The blast effects is awesome. The fact that you can put the thing on a stand going up or going down is cool. All of the figures that it came with, because it was fully funded, is nice. It's annoying. I think they're gonna get away from that trend. Looking at the Ghostbusters set, you can either get the deluxe or the base, whatever, and maybe have an option to get some other special thing if you fund it quicker, which they tend to fail at that a lot. But anywho, good thing this got fully funded. If you like this type of thing, make sure you fund them, and then you can get something like this, which is really, really cool. The stickers are a nice option. I probably won't be using them, but yeah, just listen to everything that I said throughout this review. I gave several opinions. I gave negatives and positives. Anywho, thank you, G Tony, again. Thank you all for watching this. If there's anything that you would like me to show off that I didn't show off here, hit me in the comments. I will put it on Instagram. My Instagram link is in the description. Until next time, T-Man970 out of here.
Figure action.
Join the Syndicate Toy Hunters Facebook group. Link in the description.
Click the videos. Click the videos, baby. Click the videos. You should really click these videos. Click the videos. Click those videos, baby. Click the videos. You really should